My name is Harry, and I'm from London.
Meghan Markle here.
Today is August 23rd, 2026. It is 5:14 a.m. So I'm uploading something on Pte. So go check it out. I'm planning on, I'm scheduling for 10 a.m. Alright, so go on Pte. That's my other channel. Alright, so this is this channel. $90 is creeping up. Unbelievable. Alright, so let's go on X. I just put this on the list. Should I? Alright. I have this on the list, but I'll come back to it. I think I put it third on the list. Alright, so let's start with this. Stop picking on Meghan. The UK streets are becoming more and more vocal and protecting Duchess Meghan, especially in light of the media having blood on its hand. Once again, rest in peace, Jason Arday. 42 seconds. Let's see here.
Martin's in Sheffield. Martin, welcome to the show. What would you like to say, Martin?
I just think, can we stop picking on Meghan?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, just leave her alone.
Mm-hmm.
She's married happily, has two beautiful children, and we, in this country, have to pick on somebody. Why are we picking on Meghan? It's like she's an accomplished actress, she's accomplished so many things in life.
I mean, look, Martin,
why do we do this?
I think a lot of people will agree with you. Martin's in Sheffield.
Unbelievable. Yeah, more people are speaking out. I remember when I first started talking about Harry and Meghan. Okay, I wasn't planning on making videos about Harry and Meghan, to tell you the truth. I didn't even know half of the thing, not even half, all of the things she was doing beside acting. Okay, I didn't even know she was doing all of this stuff until I started looking more into her because of the squad who put those things out. But when I first started talking about Harry and Meghan because of the headlines from the UK, I was very upset with the Brits because they make it seems like, okay, this is the way that I saw it from the outside. That doesn't mean this is what was actually happened within the UK. The headlines got me very frustrated, and then when I started looking into the UK, and I realized, you know, the paper were pretty much voicing like as if they were talking for the UK, the entire UK, because I didn't see anybody sticking up for Meghan while she was in the UK. So that got me so very upset. But little did I know, the more that I dig and you see little pockets here and there about, you know, people from the UK defending Meghan. But now it's a bit more vocal that I see people talking about Harry and Meghan. If you look what's happening in the US, for instance, Trump pretty much, you would think Trump is voicing the entire, you know, for the United States. But what you see on YouTube, I don't know if anybody noticed that, there's a lot of YouTubers, social media content are pretty much voicing their voice against the establishment or against MAGAs. Yes, there are a lot of MAGAs talking, you know, amplifying Trump nonsense, but you will still see more people talking against it. All right, so that was that. Can't stand that smug. There's the B word on screen. All right, so that's that. Let's move on. God help us. May God continue to protect Harry and Meghan. Next tweet. Okay, so that should have been the first one. All right. Just for your information, there is no way that Charles just found out on Sunday that Harry and family are moving back to the UK. In my personal opinion, this has been in the works for at least a year, and Charles has been made aware of his plans for almost as long. Charles may have been told on Sunday that Harry will be releasing the news in the coming days, but he knew ahead of time. The statement from BP was cool and measured. They didn't panic or throw a hissy fit. It was also included in the briefing that went out. He knew. Okay. Still, until I read the statement that come from Harry and Meghan's camp, whether it's Harry and Meghan or either one of them speaking for both of them or their spokesperson. So for now, I'm still not believing it. I don't know what Buckingham Palace have said. I don't believe anything until it comes from the Sussexes. Okay. Past videos that I did yesterday, you might see me giving opinion based on the captions or the whatever discussion that the squad were making that I share with you. But still, till now, as of August 23rd, 2026, I don't believe that Harry and Meghan are heading back to the UK. One of the things that I said in one of the videos yesterday, perhaps, I did read the article. Oh, I need to share that on my community board. Even the article that was talking about the movie, it wasn't even definitive. You know, the Guy Richie's movie is not even definitive. They were just talking. But anyway, let's move on. I'm not sure it was Harry that originally released the information. It appears to have been released by Buckingham Palace as a leak. Harry released statement, not leaks. That's what I believe too. I feel, pointing to this picture, this was pivotal. Okay, who is that? That doesn't look like Meghan. Meghan doesn't sit like that, you know, crouching her head like that, her back. I completely agree. Mainstream media just like to make up these stories. Also don't believe this idea of a summit with Workshire Willie and his grifter wife either. In fact, I don't believe a word that comes out of the palace. Okay, obviously, why else did London resign? Just like this Guy Richie acting story, the British media just made up. Yeah, I believe that too. Yeah, it just made up thing. Okay, just like this Guy Richie acting story, the British media just made that up and are trying to use that as a tool to smear Sussex again. I agree. When you look, I'm done with this. There's a comment that I responded to. Someone liked it. Where is it? This one. Okay, I took a screenshot of it, and it seems like they made that up too. But it sort of promote the show as well. So there's this part here on the article. Meghan Markle, maybe, okay, maybe that is not a definitive wording. Maybe it's just flying out there. All right, Meghan Markle may be teaming up with Guy Richie for her return to acting. Okay, all of this is not definitive. Maybe returning, and I think they took that part, the part where I underlined her return to acting, and then the leftovers took that as some sort of a bait to say she's gonna return. I don't believe none of the thing that they're saying here. All right, so it could be one of the who wrote this, Nelly and Driva. Yeah, they probably pay someone to write a story about this, give them some keyword. All right, not a definitive wording. Let's say. Or a definitive wording could be like Harry and Meghan are going are teaming up. Okay, so you know they are teaming up. All right, so maybe is not a definitive wording. It's something, or it might happen. This kind of collaboration might happen. All right, they could say that nobody could sue them. But guess who's benefited on this article? Guy Richie on Netflix, his show. So people will be watching. I never even know this is there. I have Netflix. I didn't even know this show is there. But they probably paid this person to write some nonsense so the royal rights could pick up on and say their nonsense as well. And even their nonsense are not definitive as well when you really look into the details of the wording. I mean, English is not my primary language, but you could still see. And Harry and Meghan told us when they were leaving, all right, they separate themselves from the palace. I still can't find that screenshot. They separate themselves from the palace. If they're gonna put something out, they're gonna say it from their camp. Their spokesperson will be saying it for them. All right, next tweet. Even when Harry went to promote his book, when he was talking to that late night show guy, what's his name? I forgot his name. Stephen Colbert. He said the thing was coming out of his mouth. That was his wording. Okay, so you know it is his perspective on the in the book.
So again, one of the reasons why I wrote this book is every word in that book is mine. And I realized that especially...
What do you mean by that?
Because the amount of unnamed sources that have fed information to the British tabloids about me and my wife and my family...
You have a source,
true
and it's you.
and not true. I am the source of that book.
No one else. Nobody's voicing it for him. So I don't know why so many of the squaddies believe this. Until I'm still waiting until Harry and Meghan said so themselves or their spokesperson. Next tweet. Alright, even Camilla Tominey struggles to hide her excitement. Alright, so that's a retweet from the Telegraph. So this is the only response from the retweet. They are giddy because they all know the current working royals bored them to death at their computers. Alright, so let's go to that retweet. That's the Telegraph. Her cheeks looks... Did she do some work? I don't know. I don't see her all the time, but she looks different. Not from the way I paused it. Telegraph exclusive. The Sussexes back in Blighty, as if, more like. Yet, when you get over the shock of it, when you come to terms with the pure chic of it, is it actually all that surprising? Okay, they tag Camilla Tominey discussing Harry and Meghan return in full. Oh my goodness. I'm just gonna share that part only, okay? 1 minute and 9 seconds screenshot.
If Hollywood was scripting this, they'd be calling it the Great Meghanascence, the return of Harry and Meghan. And actually, maybe that's the point. As is ever with the couple, people will fall down in two different camps. Some people will welcome it, saying that they missed Blighty and want to be back in the UK to raise their blood-born royal children. Others might be more cynical. Okay. Have they run out of road in the US? Has the American dream...
Okay, there's the not definitive type over maybe. Let me move it back slightly here.
Children. Others might be more cynical.
Maybe.
Have they run out of road in the US? Has the American dream turned into a bit of a nightmare? In fact, have they failed to crack the market they wanted to?
What?
And are now having to retreat back to the royal fold in order to re-commercialise their aims? But thinking about it all, haven't they ended up with exactly what they wanted? They keep the mansion in Montecito, they have a base in the UK, they educate their children here, and they can do charitable things but not be fully fledged royals. And they can make money on the side, cashing in on their royal status. That sounds to me like a half-in, half-out hybrid model they sought back in 2020 when Brexit happened, which the royals refused to give them, and now, lo and behold, 6 years on, they get exactly what they've always craved.
Whatever. Let me see here. Instead of talking about the mass of little white British girls, everyone ragged on Prince Harry for 10 years. No wonder UK is easily invaded and war. I really so bad that. Yeah, that's all of that. Let me move on. The way she's talking, this is someone as if you will take seriously, but everything that come out of their mouth is just nonsense. Next tweet. Is derangers begging Guy Richie not to work with Meghan? If he wasn't already, he will be begging her to, because his name or his show hasn't seen the amount of attention since Meghan was attached to it. Majority of people didn't even know about that show till yesterday. Thank you. I was just saying it. I didn't even know. Why can you... Let me pause this. Can you imagine the leverage they just gave her agent and representative if there ever is a contract negotiation? And then Meghan said, I don't think she's returning to acting. There was a time they brought this topic up. Let me pause for a second. This is something, it just crossed my mind. This is what I type on Google. Did Meghan Sussex at one point said she's not returning to acting? Yes, Meghan Markle stated in a 2022 interview with Variety that she was finished with acting. I completely forgot about this. Alright, what she said. No, I'm done. She told the magazine when asked about a potential return to the screen. She added, I guess never say never, okay? There's still the possibility. Again, this is why I'm saying I'm waiting until they put their statement out if they're gonna going back to the UK or do anything with Guy Richie. Alright, potential return to the screen. She added, I guess never say never, but my intention is to absolutely not. Alright, she explained that she had stepped away from acting after finishing her role on the legal drama suit to focus on other chapters. Okay, I forgot about this. Let me pause and get the screenshot. Alright, so this is what I type here. I completely forgot about this. That's the thing I just searched. Until the Sussex's camp, Sussex's camp put out a statement, I'll believe everything that they are saying. For now, these are noisemakers who want clicks. Alright, so there's this here. Let's move on. I took too long. So while I literally just post what I just shared with you, someone tagged me on this one here. I know your skepticism. This is coming from MP members. Okay, let's check it out. I don't want to read the entire thing, but I'll leave the link in the description for you. Decision about protective security should be based on a clear-eye assessment of the threat and impact they face. I don't presume to know what the outcome should be for Prince Harry. That is not for a politician, but having with my security hat on, having worked in national security, I strongly believe the only relevant consideration should be the assessed level of threat, and the professionals should be allowed to reach that decision independently. But the thing is that, okay, I agree with this 100%, but the thing is that people, these are words for the public, okay? These are words for the public to make you believe they are taking this thing very seriously. But in the background, the freaking father is in control of the thing that is being done in the background. They're not giving those people who are doing the security assessment the freedom to actually do their work freely. And we have heard from that guy. I have the video where he's talking about there have been people who've been prosecuted based on, you know, the threat level of things that they're putting on Harry and Meghan.
But there were many serious, credible threats against Meghan, were there, emanating from the far right?
Absolutely. If you'd seen the stuff that was written and you were receiving it, the kind of rhetoric that's online, if you don't know what I know, you would feel under threat all of the time.
So you were convinced that there was a genuine threat to Meghan's life on a, you know, on more than one occasion, on several occasions?
We had teams investigating it. People have been prosecuted for those.
But the thing is that I don't know if the father is being manipulated the same way as many of politicians in the US, okay? If they are pulling some string on Charles for Charles to have his people like control the assessment, it's not really being done independently as much as we want to believe. But in the background, there are some strings that are being pulled to make it seems like Harry's life is not in danger. Meanwhile, we have our own senses. We see the threat level of things. Okay, reality does not match with the assessment conclusion, so to speak. Okay, these are words that are very serious, that make the public believe that they are doing things professional, but in the background things are all messed up. Okay, the same way where Harry was kind of surprised to see, oh, I didn't know people who works in the palace is also working, you know, in Vivek. This should be left completely separate. Okay, the Vivek does his assessment. Okay, all those professionals who went to school or who have experience in the field of security type of thing, they deal with it. Once they finish, do their assessment, and then they give their conclusion to whichever office. If it's the palace, this is what we find. If it's with the government, this is what we find. But It's all messed up. Okay? I would have believed that, but there's string that is being pulled in the background. So that's that. I finished this paragraph. Police protection is not reward for public service. Okay, I agree with this, but how come, what's that singer? Taylor Swift get police escort from wherever she was going, from point A to point B. How come she got that? And there's other actors, what's her name? I have some screenshot of other people during her wedding. She got police protection. Why? So this is what I'm saying. What I'm reading here does not match with what they have done already. Meanwhile, Harry is a freaking son of the king. He was born into that family, not as his choice. He was happened to be born there. Okay? It exists to prevent attacks, deter those who will do harm, and manage known risks before lives are lost. Okay, everything sounds good, but their action does not match their wording. Those responsible should of course make their assessment based on evidence, intelligence, and risk, not headlines, politics, or public opinion. I agree with that as well. Just like that guy who worked in security, I probably have shared that his video already, where he said people have been prosecuted because of things they saying about Harry and Meghan. Okay, the central question is simple. What is the genuine level of threat faced by Prince Harry and his family when they are in Britain? The decision should be made independently on that basis alone, nothing more, nothing less. Yes, I agree with that. Yes, the British media, the tabloid, are making the risk level even higher because they keep on writing nonsense. And there's no punishment for the papers for doing this. They keep on doing it. All right, they see people's lives like gladiator. It's fun for them to see people struggling, including the son of the king. Again, with everything that I just said, there's people in the background who's pulling strings, make us believe no reality. What we all are seeing, it's not what's happening. It's not what the professionals are seeing, which is a full BS. I don't even, okay, I'm just gonna stick with the caption, okay? I'm not gonna read the article. Alright, let me put that on the list as well. Alright, so I decided to respond to it. It took me 2 tweets to respond to it. Okay, we know there has been evidence of threats Harry and Meghan are facing. We also have concern about whether Varex is able to assess Harry's security needs fairly and independently, particularly given the involvement of people connected to the royal family. 2 of 2. If Varex were able to conduct its assessment independently without BP's involvement, perhaps the process would be more impartial and transparent. Okay, so that's that. I'm done with this. Let's move on. Next tweet. Oh, is it raining? Alright, so there's this here. Why is Tindall marking the late Queen Elizabeth? This is old. Alright, since we are in the never forgets this silly season, never forget this. Alright, there's people talking here. Even the Queen was making fun of herself. Alright, so people are putting some tweets here. Let me pause for a second. Alright, so there's this here. Let's share some receipt of the Queen not being bothered by people struggling and failing to bow or curtsy to her. Let's see here. I mean, the people takes that thing, the people take that curtsy more seriously than the royal family. Oh my goodness. The little girl curtsying to the Queen Mother is hilarious and obviously far too theatrical and over the top. But the late Queen Elizabeth is clearly loving it and she gets away with it. Alright, so that's that. Let's move on. Alright, Prince William. Okay. Have you noticed that the steady stream of William is going to remake the monarchy has dried up? Now the Sussexes are coming back. She retweeted that danger. Queen Victoria retired to Windsor and was hardly seen and almost lost public support. This is why her grandson, George V, invented public spectacles for Majesty to be seen and believed. But maybe William wants to be more low-key like his cousin in Denmark or Spain. Many of the things that the royal family is doing, if they just mind their own business, their popularity will not plummeted the way that I've seen. But they lie. That's the other thing as well. They're lying for no reason. Everything is out the window. All right, now it's Harry who's going to save the monarchy. I keep on repeating it until I see the statement come out. I'll believe it. Okay, he's probably so pissed the media see them going back as a good thing for the monarchy. Let's see here. Welcome home, Meghan and Harry. This is why we need you more than ever. And bitter reality we must face about Kate and William. If Harry and Meghan are there, it's going to be completely opposite. These people are freaking evil. They're going to pick up exactly where they left off when the Queen passed. Okay? Oh, my God. Until I see the statement, oh, my God. They're making it seem like it's definitive. There has been some crazy talk online about the succession, etc. For the record, that is insane. What I do think might have happened is combination of Charles knowing his reign is going to be relatively short and realizing his slim down went too far. Hey, sometimes when you open your mouth to the universe listen and then act upon that. They need to bulk up the ranks of senior royals under 70. Nobody in England will never be ruled by the Dumbartons. Alright, they are neck and neck with Andrew Mountbatten in popularity. The money ran out, and Daddy King Charles is their salvation. Yep, Chucks is not dying. Let's go to the next one. For the amount of money these people receive, they just got increased amount. Was it last year? The whatever they get from the public had increased, and they're making money off of the land. It's like they don't know how to manage their money. Next week, the payment is full secure, zero out-of-pocket expenses for Prince Harry and the other claimant. Okay, so this is about the lawsuit. And y'all told us he had to pay £50 million, laughing my ass off, enjoy. Okay, she's responding to Sky News. Breaking, Prince Harry and co-claimant ordered to pay initial £9.5 million after losing court battle with Daily Mail publisher. I can't believe they lost that because the other two, they really did their thing. Okay, and this is why I believe, what's that guy? Clive Alderton left. His job is done. He was probably the ear and probably the string, pulling the string or informing the king the wrong way based on whatever people outside the palace was telling him to advise the king. It's so much. I don't even want to go in full detail. 1 week to pay. The £9.5 million initial sum must be paid by the claimant by 4 p.m. on 28 August, legal expert Colin Campbell told Sky News. The payment is fully insured, so the claimants will not individually be having to put their hands in their pocket, he says. This is the thing as well. When I was talking about, what do you call this? When I said that I think it was one of the videos I did yesterday, the appeal. From the day the judgment was put out, they gave them 21 days to appeal it. It seems like they're not appealing it. So Clive, what's his name? Clive Alderton left and said, my job is done. He did what he needed to do to advise the king whichever way, and who knows what string the king pulled for the courts and whatnot, and he's done. This is why Harry said his father is scared. Harry will have to pay millions out of his own pocket. Final amount not known as yet because A&L are trying to recover 34.5 million legal costs. Well, this was a group. How do they call this? Like a class action type of things. So it become one. Okay, all these people had their own issues and they make it as one how do you call this, one claimant, but each one of them have to prove their part, why they part of that case. So I don't know well, I'm not in the legal business, so okay, Prince Harry's personal financial liability could potentially run into millions of pounds out of his own pocket, while the High Court treats the claimant as a collective group. This is what I thought. The ultimate financial impact on the Duke of Sussex depends heavily on how the group split the uninsured deficit and whether they appeal. Okay. The exact likelihood and certainties of his liability break down as follows. Immediate certainty liability, the interim payment. The High Court ordered the group to make an immediate interim payment of £9.54 million to Associate Newspaper (ANL). The insurance cushion, the initial amount is completely covered by the group's £16.2 million collective after the event. Okay, legal insurance. One immediate certainty liability, the High Court, okay, ordered the group to pay £9.54 million to Associate Newspapers. Is that the same thing? Insurance, this initial completely ordered, yeah, repeated, because, okay, that part. Because the insurance will be completely drained by this initial payment and future cost proceedings, Prince Harry will not face an immediate out-of-pocket bill this week, but his safety net for the rest of the bill is essentially gone. Okay, so that's all of that. You could pause and read. I think you'll find the insurance will pay out £18.5 million for all of them, and they have individual insurance. Harry is in hock for about $3.5 million. I'll post detail later, as I've got more important things to do. They had insurance to cover up to £16.2 million of costs in the event of losing the case, but Friday's ruling means the newspaper group could now try to recover up to £34.5 million that it said it had to spend to defend itself. It means the Duke and others could face a bill of some $18 million. Okay, so that's that. Who pays the insurance premium for that insured payout to be possible? All right. Let's pause that GIF. It's the first payment and doesn't include his own expenses. He is such a loser. Okay, that's only this part of the payment. There will be more to pay out. Babe, I told ya, you don't believe me. All right, nope, only on account. The next judge decided the final amount. Yes, so happy. All right, so that's that. I don't know how these things work. I think I had it for a while, but it's now I'm covering. Next tweet. Okay, what is this now? Blaming the black woman he married sells more papers. The way everybody is on the toxic British press game and calling them out more and more is quite something. All right, let's see here. 1:27 seconds.
Harry and Meghan haven't even moved back to the UK yet, but the British press is already preparing to blame Meghan Markle for absolutely everything when they do. They haven't publicly explained why they're moving back. Buckingham Palace hasn't commented, and we know very little beyond the fact that they're planning to live privately and their children will attend school here. But of course, an insider already knows that...
do we know that for a fact? Harry and Meghan still haven't put things out. And I said in one videos, of all things, there is absolutely no way Harry and Meghan will say anything about their children if they're gonna go to school here. We will have to guess the same way I usually guess about so many things on my channel. This is one thing I'm 100% sure they will not put out, unless if people say something and they probably will say, yeah, maybe, or whatever, or yes, but they will not say where the kids will go to school.
Meghan doesn't want to come back. Harry is miserable and he's issued her an ultimatum. How convenient. Before she's even arrived, they've already written the entire story for her. Harry wants to come home and she's the difficult wife resisting him. Their marriage is under pressure and the move is already causing problems. And if that story falls apart, don't worry, they'll just write another one.
That's right.
If Meghan chooses to stay private, then she'll be accused of refusing to embrace Britain. If she's seen in public, she'll be accused of chasing attention. If Harry recognizes reconciles with his family, then she's evil because she kept them apart for years. And if he doesn't reconcile, she's still the reason why.
The
You
blueprint.
get the point. Harry is a 41-year-old grown man who is perfectly capable of making his own decisions, but the press has spent years removing every single bit of responsibility from him because blaming the black woman that he married sells more newspapers. Meghan can't ever win because she was never supposed to. They decided who she was years ago, and now they write every single story backwards to make Meghan fit it.
That's pretty much it. Yeah, that's the blueprint over there. Camilla Tominey told us years ago, paraphrasing, she says, it is the press who will decide who Meghan is, and it is the press that will determine what her reputation is, so the truth doesn't matter. Whatever caricature the press decides to create, then that's what people will believe. She's great, well said. There's that. That's an ad. Next tweet. Oh, I think I just messed up. Yep. Okay, let's pause this. This is the reason the UK media ramped up the attacks on Prince Harry and Meghan. They also diabolical deranged that they want the world to forget that they have just pushed Jason Arday to commit suicide by continuing the hounding a different set of targets. Yeah, it's very sad.
Aware of how horrific this Jason Arday situation is. Do not get in conversations about DEI. Do not get in conversations about Jason's character and whether he lied or not, because it's all completely irrelevant. The main event that everyone should be focusing on is that the British press teamed up with a Jewish supremacist, someone who believes that white people, Jewish people and Asians are superior to black people, that black people shouldn't be in professional positions, that wants to start a race war that ends with black people becoming an underclass. And all of those journalists writing those pieces knew that.
That's right. That's it.
They enabled and platformed this man. Stay over the target, because what you've got is people trying to take you away from that conversation. They want you to get in conversations about Jason's character, to discuss whether or not Jason was worthy of being hunted to death by people who were teaming up with a far-right racist to hunt a black man. Don't get involved in conversations. Black people don't have to be worthy. They don't have to be saints. They don't have to not lie. They don't have to not make mistakes in order not to be hunted. Don't get involved in the conversations. And if they start talking about DEI, that's a separate conversation. Many people have criticisms of DEI. Many black people have criticisms of DEI. This is not the conversation. Stay over the target. This is what they're trying to distract you from, because the fact the British press did this is absolutely incendiary. It is one of the worst examples of systemic racism we have seen in a long time. And they are dying to get you away from that conversation. So don't. Stay over the target.
People are getting it. People are getting it. And I have to say, for the squaddies globally who keeps their stiletto heels on their necks, the British media's necks, for putting out nonsense every day. And it enlightening a lot of people in the UK. People who don't care, white or whatever their background is, may not even care about any of this stuff, but they keep on pushing it on people's face, and all of a sudden they're starting to get it. All right, Harry and his wife can go wherever they like. This is his country. He is part of the royal family. So looking forward to reading Charles Spencer's 30 Years book about his beloved sister from the devoted brother that took on his
To everyone that is aware of how horrific
that took on his role diligently, definitely a bestseller. I can't wait to read it too. All right, next tweet. All right, let's see here. All right, so I think I'm done with the leftovers. There's a little bit politics here, things that's going on in the US. Oh, I copied one. There's something that keeps on happening in the US. Not too many people. What the hell? Since the last
Lavanaka. It is a great privilege to be with all of you today.
You know, we ask for forgiveness and please come back.
As you saw me find the love and happiness that I'd hoped for all my life. You are all in this together, and if I may speak personally, we are all in this together, because asking for help was one of the best decisions that I ever made. You will be continually amazed how life changes for the better